Okay guys, I'm back with another video for you. And I want to talk today a little bit about why knowing a little bit of music theory, and hopefully this will encourage you or get your curiosity piqued a little bit to learn a little bit more music theory. But why knowing a little bit of music theory can improve your singing, all right? When you understand not just knowing the notes. We've talked about plucking out those melodies, learning those melodies. But when you understand what those notes are in relation to the scale and in relation to the chords, where they fit in relation to each chord, it helps you to attack the problem from another perspective. It deepens your relationship with the music, and it's also very helpful in a practical sense when you go to try to sing or want to sing harmony. When you know the notes that you're singing and you know what relation that they have to, specifically to the chords. We'll talk more about the scales probably in more videos. But specifically to the chords, you're going to understand what the other notes you can pick to sing are. You're going to know what those pitches sound like in relationship to those chords. So you're going to have a greater time, you're going to have an easier time of figuring out how to jump in with the harmony, do an alternate melody, or do like a little improvisation when it's called for a song. Let's get a little. We could just do Happy Birthday because it's simple. Okay. Okay, that is starts on a C. We're doing it in the key of C. Pick the key of C because there's no sharps or flats. It's easy to do. The notes in the key of C are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Or how you want to think about it is this. Think of the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8 is a repeat. 8's the octave. So we have this, let's talk about Happy Birthday. We have the C chord. The first note of the melody Happy Birthday is the G. Okay? The three notes in the C chord happen to be C, E, and G. Okay? In the relationship to the scale, that is the first degree of the scale, the second degree of the scale, the first degree of the scale, the third degree of the scale, and the fifth. 1, 3, 5. Okay? So, 1 is C, 3 is E, and 5 is G. The song starts on G, the chord is a C, but it starts on the G note. So we're starting on the fifth. Okay? And so the notes are G, G, A, G, C, B. And when you get to the B, you switch to the G chord. Three notes in the G chord are G, B, and D. That is 1, 3, and 5. Chords are always 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so when we get to the G, we resolve where we play the D. So it's okay. Now this time when we get to the C, we come together on the root note, the C, the number 1. Got it? Now, remember I used the word octave, so we're going to go G, G, and then octave G. E. We're over the C chord. Now this is a very interesting change right here. The next chord is F. Okay? The notes in the F chord are F, A, C. F, A, C. 1, 3, 5. It's always 1, 3, 5. And we are playing but the melody is weird. When we land on the F chord, we're actually playing a B, and that isn't in the chord chord at all. So it creates like an interesting dissonance. You never thought Happy Birthday was so interesting, did you? But it resolves very quickly. Hear how that goes? La, la. Then good old-fashioned, we're playing F, we're playing an F chord, we're going to play the F note right in perfect consonance with F. Back to the C chord with an E note to the third. And then we get to the G, it's the D note, which is the fifth of G. And then right, very consonant, very together, we end on a C note, okay? And that's probably a lot for you to absorb all at once. But start thinking of the notes in the scale and in relation to the chords. Every chord, every major chord has the same intervals. 1, 3, and 5. Major third, minor third. Major third, minor third. Major third, minor third. Okay? Major third, here's for the F. Minor third. Okay? Those are the intervals, all right? When you start to get a handle on that, not only know the notes, but know them in relation. So you really want to look when you're plucking out those melodies. So don't just look at the melody. Look at how that note relates to that chord. Is the note that you're singing even in that chord? An example of birthday. You know, okay, and sometimes these are trouble spots when you've got something that isn't real consonant. Consonant just means it's really together. Like, this is consonant. If I was to play an F note and sing an F note, that's just like that total. As you get away from the root note or the note that you're singing, you get more dissonant. Okay, dissonance isn't always like bad, flat, out of tune. It's just a different note, and the farther you get away from it, the more dissonance. And dissonance can actually be very powerful in music. It's used a lot. We can get into that again in a future video. Right? Okay, so pay attention to how those notes relate to the chord. So you're playing the chord, you're playing the note. Oh, and this is why I'm having a problem singing this pitch, because it's pretty dissonant from the chord. It's not. It may not even be in the chord. You know, sometimes you're playing an F note and you're singing a D note. You're playing an F chord, you're singing a D note. Okay, that can make you feel like you want to be pulled to one of the notes that are actually in the chord. Okay, so this is another way to troubleshoot things that are going on melodically with your singing. One more time, let me review this for you. Okay, one more time. You've got our scale, our C scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, each note the C scale has 3 major chords. In this case, there's 3 major chords in every scale, but in this case, it's C, F, and G. And we call the root note of each chord 1. We call the second degree of this chord, or the first third of it, the next note of the chord, rather, however you want to think of it, as the third, and we call the last note of the chord the fifth. 1, 3, 5. Okay, and then for F, 1, 3, 5, and for G, 1. Hear that? Listen to the. I'll play them in direct first inversion order. Okay. They're all structured exactly the same, no matter what key you're in. This is the same intervals. It's the same sounds. Listen again. Same thing, except it's just moving up and down. It's starting in different positions of the scale. 1, 3, 5. So pay attention when you're singing. You know, in the beginning, it's going to be hard for you to pay attention, but look at the notes where they kind of like, there's a kind of like a resolution. See what that is. If something seems weird, ask yourself why. Oh, that's because I'm singing some note that isn't even in the chord at all. Most of the time, the note will be in the scale. You know, all the notes that we played are never deviated from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Never deviated from that. They're just kind of mixing them up, and we're playing different ones against others to create more consonance or more dissonance depending on the melodic, the melody of the song, or the melodic thing we're trying to create if it's your own song, or you're trying to sing a harmony, or do a little improvisation. Okay? This stuff is a little heady. It's a little complicated, but it's good stuff to have in your arsenal. You want to know it. We're going to discuss a little bit more about music theory as we go along. Feel free to ask any questions you have, and we are always here to answer your questions. Guys, thanks so much, and I will see you very soon in the next lesson.